I'm John Nolan, a member of the executive committee at the Morristown High School radio station, Wjsb 90.5 FM. For those of you who don't know, Morristown High School is one of the only high schools in New Jersey with its own radio station. And even more surprising, it's been around for 50 years. That's right, we've been around since 1971. While we were preparing for our 50th anniversary and a return to broadcasting, we reached out to some of our alumni and they shared some interesting stories as well as pictures and more. Some of these were taken almost 50 years ago. What's even crazier than that is we found reel-to-reel tape that got converted to audio, which actually had an old radio show taped on it. And we'll show a little sneak peek of that right here.
From around the world or around the corner, this is WJSB Radio News on the Hour.
The Port of Philadelphia is closed by a strike of some 10,000 longshoremen. Assembly Minority Leader David Freeman says he will introduce a bill to expand the South Jersey Port Commission to push ahead plans for rehabilitation of the Hudson River waterfront.
Obviously, technology has changed a lot over the years, and we've recently received new equipment to have DJs broadcast at home, since we don't have access to the studio right now. We couldn't have done this without the very generous grant from the Morristown Education Foundation and with the help of one of our radio station alumni, Lucas Mose. We owe both of them a very special thanks. Even though we got new equipment, you may still be wondering, how are we able to broadcast from home? Well, I met with station manager Michael Mose and asked him a couple questions in a quick interview. Here's how that went.
How has our radio station adapted to these COVID times?
WJSB has transitioned as best as it could. WJSB is really centered around having radio shows, and that's completed inside of our studio at the high school. But now with the coronavirus, we weren't able to do that. Since the pandemic began, we've been trying to figure out different options for our DJs to still go live on air. And we figured out a few options that work. And now we are back on air, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's been really great to get back on air. And just to kind of segue off that, as many people will know, and I mentioned earlier in the video that we're celebrating our 50th anniversary of our radio station. I think people are wondering what we're going to do and what we are doing to celebrate this.
Yes, so in our celebration of the 50th anniversary, we began with the February 16th 50th anniversary of the first day WJSB received its radio license. But the 50th anniversary is going to be a year-long celebration, which we're really looking forward to. Now, for this, since the February 16th and for the past bit of time, we've been airing interviews with around 24 alumni that we recorded in the weeks prior. And so it's been really wonderful speaking with them. And that's all. It's been a pleasure to air those interviews.
So another thing I was wondering is when you spoke with these alumni, and these have been from all different years, all the way from 71 until last year, what were some of the more interesting things you heard from them? Maybe a story or just something interesting they mentioned about the station or their time at Morristown High School.
It was absolutely wonderful to speak with the alumni and hear what they had to say about the station. Now, when I was speaking with the alumni, there were definitely some certain themes that came across, no matter whether they were in the media industry or in some other industry. The ability to effectively communicate ideas, the ability to handle a radio show are things that can be transferred over no matter what you do. And so one example was I was talking with an alumni from the early 70s named Bob Herbert, and he's a family doctor out in Ohio. And the ability to communicate is essential to what he does as a doctor, whether it's communicating with younger children or adults or parents. He uses the skills that he learned at WJSB every day. And so I think that was something that was really interesting.
And my last question, which is, what are some things we will see from WJSB in the future?
Well, for the first week or two of our 50th anniversary celebration, we've had a limited amount of DJs go live on air. What you can expect from WJSB in the next few weeks are is a full schedule of programming, of live programming, of having DJs go back on air and really have shows from home. Now, there's a few events that we're looking forward to. One event is Underground Sound, which will be our live event where we will have bands perform live on air. And then we'll also have Marathon, which is our annual event at WJSB where DJs have radio shows throughout the night. And so those are two events that I'm looking forward to. But there's countless opportunities, and we're going to try to take advantage of as many of them as possible.
That's right, WJSV is back on the air. You can listen to us on our brand new website or even on the radio. WJSV is a phenomenal club that has stood the test of time. If you want to be a part of the continuing history, you can become a DJ and have your own show. You can play music or have a talk show on any topic. Our executive committee and DJs will show you everything you need to know. Here's to 50 more years. Congratulations, WJSV.
The Equity and Inclusion Committee is involved with working with the ELL community. I've been working with Chris Ruiz on a special video project, and we talked to him about what his goals are for this video.
What do you hope for people to take away from this video?
I really hope that they learn, from the stories. I talked with a few of the students outside of the video, and some of the things that they have to say are just not interesting, just really fascinating to think about. Some of the stories are really sad. We got very emotional in some of the recording sessions because some of these stories are heartbreaking. Even the stories that they have inside of the MHS walls, it makes you think. It changes your perspective.
What was the purpose of making this video?
This video is to create a better community between the English speakers and the ELL students. We want them to have real conversations in the future, and we don't want it to be awkward for an ELL student to walk into an English classroom asking the teacher for help, or any situation really where the two groups kind of come together. So we want that to be more comfortable for both communities.
What are some projects that you guys are going to be working on right now?
Oh, okay. So less than a week ago, we had a round table, you could call it, with some of the officers from the Morristown Police Department. A few of us actually went to the police academy, and we talked with them about how they feel about the current situation in the United States and the situation across the world. Something that we just did yesterday, we had a conversation with Integrate NYC. It's a student-led group kind of like us, and we heard some of the policies that they're doing. Something that the ELL group is working towards, one of our current initiatives actually, with some help from the broadcasting people, is trying to get more students in the ELL program into different clubs throughout the school.
What was it like working with the Colonial Corner kids?
So awesome. Oh my gosh, Emma, James, we got everybody. Jade Nuggets over there. You guys are really awesome, and we definitely appreciate them. Colonial Corner is something that's so fun to watch, and you guys are a great group of kids. And Mr. Armstrong is one of the coolest teachers around, and his name is, that's amazing. That is so cool.
February was Black History Month, and some of our students put together profile videos for a few pioneers in broadcasting.
One of television's premier African-American series stars, actress, singer, and recording artist Carol Diane Johnson, later known in her career as Diane Carroll, was born in the Bronx on July 17, 1935, and grew up in Harlem, New York City. She worked as a singer and model before making her Broadway debut in the show The House of Flowers in 1954 at just 19 years old. After a few trials and tribulations on Broadway, Richard Rodgers wrote a role specifically for her in the 1962 musical No Strings. In this role, Diane went on to win the Tony Award for Best Actress in a Musical. Then she was cast as the groundbreaking lead in the sitcom Julia in 1968 and broke racial barriers as the star of Julia, which was an American television series to chronicle the life of a Black professional woman. The sitcom broadcast on NBC from 1968 to 1971, having 3 seasons in total. Diane became the first full-fledged African-American female star because of her top-billed role as the first black woman to star in her very own TV series. For her role, Carol received an Emmy nomination in 1969 and won a Golden Globe Award in 1968. She then went on to have many guest roles in TV series and had a very popular role in ABC soap opera Dynasty in the 1980s. In 1974, Carol starred in the film Claudine, a drama about a single mother in Harlem, and for her portrayal of the titular character, she received an Academy Award nomination. Diane was married 4 separate times, and she had a daughter from her first marriage. Carol survived breast cancer in the 1990s and became a public advocate for screening and treatment. Diane Carroll passed away on October 4, 2019 in Los Angeles, California, after a long battle against cancer, having left a wonderful legacy that paved the way for African American actresses in film and television for the 21st century.
Born in Kosciuszko, Mississippi in 1954, Oprah Winfrey lived a troubled childhood, being sexually abused by some of her relatives and mother's friends. After this, Winfrey moved to live with her father in Nashville. In 1971, she attended Tennessee State University, where she started her work in radio and television broadcasting. Oprah moved to Baltimore in 1976, where she began her career in the media as the host of the TV talk show People Are Talking. After working with the show for 8 years, she was given the opportunity to host her own morning show called AM Chicago. In 1986, Oprah launched The Oprah Winfrey Show, which got extremely popular as a nationally recognized program that lasted for 25 whole years, ending in 2011. By the end of its first year on air, the show had already made $125 million, and Oprah was paid $30 million. Soon after this first year, she gained ownership of the program from ABC and put it under control of her new production company, Harpo Productions, which is Oprah backwards. In 1996, Oprah launched Oprah's Book Club, which helped authors gain popularity and encouraged people in her community to read new books about important topics. Oprah broke boundaries throughout her career, creating her own production company, beginning leadership academies for girls in South Africa, being awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, publishing her own magazine, launching her own book club, hosting an internationally known talk show, and most importantly, becoming the first black female billionaire. Oprah Winfrey is an inspiration to people all around the world to chase their dreams and proves that anything is possible.
Hi, I will be doing Morgan Freeman, and most of you probably know who that is, but for those of you who don't, let me tell you a little bit about him. Morgan Freeman is an American actor, born on June 1st, 1937, in Memphis, Tennessee. He is well respected for his emotional depth and his subtle humor. He stars in many movies you most likely have seen, like Shawshank Redemption, Bruce Almighty, Batman, and the list goes on. Mr. Freeman has also won many awards in his lifetime, such as People's Choice Award, Golden Globe, Oscars, etc. And did you know he was forced into acting and he didn't become famous until late in his career? Also, his dream job was to become a fighter pilot, and he actually joined the Air Force after high school, but then soon realized it wasn't for him. Thank you for watching and listening. Hope you enjoyed learning about Morgan Freeman.